Good afternoon, trading world. Um, this video is going to be about a opportunity that I see in the financials. I started looking at this morning, and it is shaping up to be a pretty good opportunity. But I don't want to be too early to the party, and just want to take you through what I'm seeing and when and why I think this is a good opportunity. All right, I have here the XLF on my 1 hour chart, and there's a few different setups that I use to kind of filter things through to see whether something is good or not. Um, this is my main setup, and we're going to look at this particular area right here. What we have is pretty much a gap up and basically consolidation. Well, let me say this was yesterday on the gap up, and today we have basically a range day, which is basically nothing but consolidation. And on the hourly, what makes this such a good or the beginning of a great opportunity is on the MACD. As you look at this, we are going higher and higher on price. As you can see, the high was 29.62. We just made a new high at the close, 29.63. But we're going higher and higher. But as you can see here, let me highlight it. One of the things that you can kind of see here is that price is moving higher and higher. Momentum is moving lower and lower. Lower and lower on the momentum. The other thing that I like to see on my RSI Laguerre, we're back into overbought territory. So I know that this 29.62, it's going to act as a wall. This is resistance, 29.62. And what jumped out at me is that you can see the red volume or sell volume is starting to pick up. Not so much that it's made an impact yet, but it's the start of it. Now, we have what's basically consolidation going on right here on the hourly chart. And for me, this is a start, but it's not enough to actually pull the trigger yet. So one of the things that I'm going to do, we're going to go to the next setup, which has more to do with momentum on the RSI. And as you can see, the same thing here. The same theme is represented right here on the RSI as momentum is going lower and lower as price goes higher. So that means we're pretty much running out of steam. At some point, we're going to run out of steam in reverse. And same thing on the volume weighted MACD. The stochastic, same item, but we're back into this overbought area. The other thing that stands out about this is that the volatility on the price channel is contracting. And when it contracts, this is the time that we know that something is about to happen. If you look back, I don't have a real example on this chart, but we'll go back to see. But as volatility constricts, that's when you have your breakout. It's going to constrict to a point that it's so tight that you have no choice but to break out to the upside or downside. But that constricting right there is telling you something's about to happen. So we've looked at it on that setup so that I can look at momentum. The next setup is basically momentum as well. As you can see on the Chandy, the momentum is less and less. And even on the Vortex, same thing. And my last setup, we're still in bullish territory, but as we can see here on the rate of change, momentum is less and less. But for the moment, money is still flowing into this particular issue, but looking for that to change soon. So energy is coming out. It just screams like a reversal is soon. So we see that on the hourly chart. Let's go up a time frame and see what's happening as well. Here on my 4-hour chart, we see something similar. Let me erase the drawings here. All right. So the key thing that I'm looking for here, we were just in that overbought area. So that was a good sign. What I'm looking for here is for the MACD to break so that the momentum will change. It's that minor sell signal when the momentum changes. So that's the next sign that I'm looking for, and we're flirting with it on the 4-hour. So what this tells me is when these two kiss, at some point we're going to come back down and test here at 29.09. The moment we get a decent kiss where this crosses a little bit, and that'll tell me that we're going to come down and at least test that. And this is why it's not time to pull the trigger just yet, because we haven't lined up on a bigger time frame yet. Let me remove the drawing here, and as you can see on the RSI, momentum is still up in that overbought area, but this is a condition we can remain there for days, if not weeks. But that's the reason it is not time to pull the trigger yet. And here we still got nice distance here in the price channel. So volatility hasn't constricted on the bigger time frame yet. The stochastic is still in that overbought area. It's still facing up. So again, it's not quite time to pull the trigger just yet. Go through the other. See what it tells us. Yeah, on the Chandy, it's definitely not time yet. We're still seeing a lot of bullish activity. The Vortex, it's calming down, but it's not down enough. The last setup, it's still bullish here, even though we've reached pretty much, we're stretched almost to capacity at the top of a range. It's just not time yet. Um, and let's go yet even further to a bigger time frame. Let's go to the daily. The daily, the MACD is still far away and gaining momentum. Even though it's still overbought in my RSI Laguerre in that condition, the energy is low, so we could chop up here for quite some time. But as long as this MACD is still gaining strength, it is not quite time. But I need to see something here on the middle ground where this MACD crosses here. Once that crosses and that momentum changes, that's a good signal to tell me it's time to start looking at a position. So I'm going to keep this on my watch list and keep a close eye on this because I think the time is coming. We may be at a point before the end of this week to where it might be feasible to take a position here. And I'm thinking short because I'm looking for all these to line up in this overbought area. Whether it's the hourly, 4-hourly, and the daily, at this point of resistance. Let's see if we can get a nice back off back down to maybe 2909. So that's the opportunity that is starting to peak out. It's not ready yet, but we got to keep a close eye on it because it could happen anytime now. All right. Good luck. Happy trading.